What small steps did you start with to improve an area in your life that you always lacked or you felt like you couldn't improve on because you weren't so motivated, or you would do it temporarily for a day or two and then slip back into your old routines and your old habits again? I mean, I wish when I grew up, I had a mentor who could have given me some tips and tools to work with to improve areas in my life when I discovered my own personal growth, or when I developed self-improvement. Mine began with a book that I read by Jim Kwik, Limitless. And it, I'd recommend you get the book. I'm just sharing what and how it started for me when implementing just some small steps I took to make daily changes with my habits and routines. And in his book, he speaks highly of James Clear, best-selling author. The book Atomic Habits. I got to read it, but there's a breakdown towards all the steps of what it entails to changing those daily habits. But mine began with Jim Kwik's book Limitless, and I'm grateful because it helped me to keep improving more and more each day. And it started off with, as he mentioned, brushing your teeth with your left hand. If you're right-handed, try that. Try that for a couple of days. It's so awkward, but it helps you to start refocusing and changing that habitual way of that norm where you wake up, you get up in the morning, and you always brush it with, but when you wake up and you start brushing it with your left hand, you have to really focus on it. You have to really think about it, because you're grinding away. You're visually even trying to look and see in your head as you're doing this action, taking action with doing it differently. And it started off with that. But the two changes that I started off with was trying that out. After a couple of days, I started getting used to it. It was still pretty awkward. I still never mastered it, but it helped with the process of developing that level of continuing to focus on just such a small change in a habitual way that you're used to doing it. In a habitual way where you're not used to doing it, but you kind of stay focused on it. And when I began to really slowly focus on just that one small change, it made it easy for me to add another change, which was to wake up in the morning a little bit earlier, like an hour earlier. And then I think after about a week, I'd had waking up earlier and like cleaning up, washing up, using my left hand to brush my teeth, kind of stuck with me. And then after a week, I got to implement another new habit, which was to making my bed. These are simple things that I started off with. And it's almost like starting again. Even though I knew all these things, somewhere along the way, I got lost in my own life gets in the way kind of thing. And I realized that starting from scratch, for me personally, it was the best thing ever. It helped me to grow as a person. And it really just gave me that purpose, knowing that the first thing to do was changing one or two habits, and developing routines that really benefit you in such a way it helps you to focus mentally, and down the track I got to improve on physical sides, the physicality and the mentality of it as I progressed through the changes that I'd implemented with my habits and daily routines. But I did just start with those two couple things first, and then gradually a week later I got to make my bed, which was what we should always be doing anyway. But just as simple as that may seem, I guarantee you don't make your bed. Some of you out there are probably struggling, and all you do is just get out of bed. You'll turn back and pull the sheet across, or I'll make it when I get back. That kind of mentality. When I realized each time I got up in the morning was like, it's still, you still like have to develop. Along the way, I developed the discipline to remember, hey, look, okay, we're up top. What do we do from here on in? Oh, that's right, make my bed. Simple things like that. Maintaining that disciplinary was definitely a game changer for me, because it's what helped me personally grow and develop self-improvement for myself, which I'm truly grateful for, what I've had to learn, and how I grew through all these little changes that I took upon myself, and that I'm truly grateful for. So basically, what it took for me started with small steps to make changes in my life. Because eventually you start to build on these changes that you make, and the list kind of gets bigger and bigger, but it also, like, you start dropping off the old habits where they didn't serve you well, they didn't benefit you, and you realize then, wow, after all this time, this feels so much better. And down the track, I eventually have built my own kind of routine that's really empowered me and I've maintained it for the last 3 years when I first began my journey. And that was the routine that I developed along the way. Was in the mornings when I wake up, maybe these are some things that you'd like to implement into your life too, which was, for each morning I get up, I give thanks to God for watching over me, for blessing me with everything that I have, because I know that there are others out there who are suffering, who are homeless, who are starving, and I'm grateful for what I have. It doesn't have to be a huge luxury lifestyle now, but it's still grateful for the small things that I have in my life. And each and every day is a blessing to wake up into. Gratification, that's the best thing I started off with. And the rest, as I mentioned earlier on. So, what would it take for you to make those changes? And you only have to start with small changes, 1 or 2 changes of habits and daily routines are easier to manage, like in bite sizes, for you to improve in some of the areas that you've been wanting to work on. I mean, it could be from wanting to lose weight, wanting to learn a different language, learning a new skill. Everything is up to the choices that you wish to 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 learn and grow from starts from just taking one or two small steps that you want to change. Start with one or two things to change, because you can do it. Every one of us can do it. I'm someone who's come from a small tropical island in the Cook Islands, where none of us would ever attempt to ever do something like this on YouTube, but I've felt compelled to share my experiences since I've been living here in Australia. I learned a lot of, what life has to offer, the challenges and the experiences that I went through, and then to discover personal growth was a game changer for me, and how it helped me to develop that self-improvement and discipline and awareness really helped me out. And I'm truly grateful for the steps that I've taken to get to where I am, and it's never ending. Like, there's always room to improve, there's always room to learn something new, learning new skills, and to just, add it into your life. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Learning is never ending. And we're all capable of working towards results that we really want. But it's the changes that benefit you is what's more rewarding. Like what it was for me. Taking those small steps helped me to gradually build up my own morning routine. So, before I end, here are the benefits and the reasons why taking small steps starts with making changes in one or two habits and daily routines, which overall improves your well-being. Isn't that worth being happy about, being grateful for, knowing that you did it, you put in the work to improve what you wanted to do. So you got this. Okay, so just change one or two things. I'm not asking you to change a whole heap of things. Eventually, you'll find your thing. Just change one or two things. I'd recommend start with the brushing your teeth, with whichever side you favor. Use the opposite hand. Just try that. Try that in your normal routine, and then you'll start to discover, okay, I want to change this now. Or try this. Try something that you always find is always rewarding, or it keeps you focused. You'll feel it within you when you do something. Go, oh wow, that felt so good. Felt challenging, but it made me focus. You zone in. But that's just how it was for me. How you do it will be just as spectacular as ever. It'll be just as spectacular doing it your way. So, if you did enjoy this video, please hit the thumb for a like, and if you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down too, because it helps me to grow from what I'm not doing correctly in order to provide more inspiring content for others to grow on their journey. And as part of my channel Journey Growth, that too is what I'm trying to achieve for myself too, because this is also something new for me to do on YouTube. So from the thumbs up or thumbs down, it'll help me to continue to zone in and improve and work on being more creative and inspiring, but also motivating for others to help them do and work on areas that they wish to grow from. So yeah, thanks again for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, yes, please hit the thumbs up or down and subscribe so that I can learn and grow from what areas I need to improve on, and leave me a comment. Thanks again for tuning in and taking the time to watch my video. So until next time, like I always say, spread love and kindness and care wherever you are around the world. Peace out.